DC fans have been waiting for years to find out who the new Batman will be in James Gunn and Peter Safran's DC universe. We already know that Andy Muschietti, the director of The Flash, will be the one bringing the brave and the bold to life, which is set to be the official debut of Batman in this new DC timeline. But while Warner Bros. Is keeping the identity of the next Caped Crusader a secret for now, the new season of Peacemaker may have already teased something even bigger. It looks like the Joker is about to be recast in the DCU, and the hints are impossible to ignore. Even before Batman officially shows up in Gunn's new connected universe, we've been getting subtle teases of Gotham City and its most famous hero. Superman and Peacemaker have already made references to the Dark Knight's existence, keeping fans hyped for the big reveal. But Peacemaker Season 2 goes a step further by seemingly taking a shot at Jared Leto's infamous version of the Joker. This has many fans convinced that James Gunn is clearing the path for a brand new take on the Clown Prince of Crime, one that fits better with his rebooted DC world. The debate around the Joker has always been intense. Every actor who has played the role, from Jack Nicholson to Heath Ledger to Joaquin Phoenix, has put their own stamp on it, with some becoming fan favorites and others, well, not so much. Jared Leto's Joker, introduced in Suicide Squad 2016, has long been one of the most divisive portrayals of the character. And now, it seems Gunn and DC are finally ready to move away from that version entirely. Peacemaker Season 2 takes a direct jab at Jared Leto. The most obvious clue that DC is ready to recast the Joker comes in Peacemaker Season 2. In the very first episode, Chris Smith, played by John Cena and Emilia Harcourt, bond over something unexpected at their mutual dislike for 30 seconds to Mars, Jared Leto's band. The joke doesn't stop there. In the post-credits scene, Peacemaker sarcastically says, "That garage band I was in for 2 seconds is better than 30 seconds to Mars." It's classic James Gunn humor, but it's also hard not to see this as a deliberate dig at Jared Leto himself. Gunn has never been shy about his opinions online, and he has thrown shade at Leto multiple times on Twitter in the past. Bringing that same energy into his shows and movies feels like his way of making it clear the DCU has no room for Leto's Joker anymore. For fans, the message is obvious. If Gunn is willing to make fun of Leto this openly in one of his flagship DC shows, it basically guarantees that the character will be recast. In fact, it feels less like a question of if the Joker will return and more about when and who will play him. Why Jared Leto's Joker never worked, to understand why Gunn is so quick to move on from Leto's Joker. We have to look back at why this version of the character failed to resonate with fans in the first place. When Suicide Squad was first announced, many were excited to see a new Joker after Heath Ledger's legendary Oscar-winning performance in The Dark Knight. But instead of being impressed, audiences were left scratching their heads. Leto's Joker was presented as a flashy, tattooed gangster who leaned heavily into erratic behavior and over-the-top mannerisms. The gold chains, the damaged tattoo across his forehead, and his obsession with flashy cars and violence made him feel more like a caricature than the terrifying yet unpredictable villain fans loved in the comics. On top of that, his actual screen time in Suicide Squad was surprisingly short. Much of his storyline with Harley Quinn was cut, leaving viewers with a confusing and shallow version of the character. Add to that Leto's controversial method acting, antics behind the scenes, which reportedly included sending bizarre and unsettling gifts to his co-stars, and his Joker quickly became one of the most criticized parts of the DCEU. In short, Leto's version never felt like the Joker. It felt like a distracting experiment that never fully landed. That's why fans aren't upset at the idea of Gunn moving on from it. If anything, most people are relieved. Peacemaker Season 2 clears up the DCU's timeline, but Peacemaker Season 2 isn't just about mocking Jared Leto. The show also gives fans a clearer look at what parts of the old DCEU are still canon in Gunn's new DC universe. This has been a big question ever since The Suicide Squad 2021 came out, since Gunn has said that his rebooted world will keep some pieces of the old movies while changing others. In Season 2's first episode, there are direct mentions of Amanda Waller, Task Force X's last mission, and the death of Rick Flag Jr. All of these tie directly into Gunn's The Suicide Squad film, showing that at least that movie remains important to the new timeline. Peacemaker's own involvement with Task Force X is also brought up again, connecting his story to everything that came before. However, the original 2016 Suicide Squad seems to be getting pushed further and further into the background. Instead, Peacemaker makes it clear that Gunn's The Suicide Squad is the real foundation for how this corner of the DCU works. This is another subtle way of showing that Leto's Joker, who came from the 2016 movie, isn't part of the future. So what does this mean for Batman and the Joker in the DCU? All of this leaves fans wondering, what does the Joker's future look like in Gunn's new DC universe? We know that Batman will officially debut in The Brave and the Bold, which will explore the story of Bruce Wayne and his son Damian Wayne, also known as Robin. With Batman on the way, it's only natural that the Joker won't be far behind. After all, Batman and the Joker are two sides of the same coin. You can't really have one without the other. The fact that Peacemaker Season 2 is already hinting at a Joker recast suggests that Gunn and DC Studios may already have plans for the character, even if they're keeping it quiet for now. Whoever they choose to play the role will have huge shoes to fill, given the legacy of actors who came before. But fans are hoping that this time, the Joker will feel like a true return to form. Dark, chaotic, and unpredictable, but still grounded in the traits that make him Batman's ultimate nemesis. Will Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn return? Another big question is what all of this means for Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie has become one of the most beloved parts of the DCEU, and her performances in Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey, and the Suicide Squad have been widely praised. But if Gunn is erasing Leto's Joker from his new universe, does that mean Harley is gone too? So far, there's no confirmation either way. Robbie herself has expressed interest in continuing the role, but Gunn hasn't said whether she's officially part of the DCU canon. Fans are split on this. On one hand, keeping Robbie's Harley without Leto's Joker could work perfectly, since she's more than strong enough to carry the character on her own. On the other hand, Gunn may want a completely fresh start, which would mean recasting her as well. For now, it remains one of the biggest mysteries. The bottom line, what's clear is that James Gunn's DC universe is wasting no time putting its own stamp on iconic characters. Peacemaker Season 2 isn't just a continuation of Chris Smith's wild story. It's also a roadmap for how the new DCU will handle the tangled legacy of the old movies. By openly mocking Jared Leto and reinforcing the canon of Gunn's own The Suicide Squad, The show is setting the stage for a Joker recast and a brand new Gotham. With Batman on the horizon in The Brave and the Bold, the arrival of a new Joker feels inevitable. Fans can debate casting choices all they want, but one thing's certain, Jared Leto's time as the clone Prince of Crime is officially over. The DCU is moving forward, and the Joker we meet next will hopefully give audiences the chaotic brilliance they've been waiting for.